All right. Hello, everyone. My name is KJ, and I am the host of Great Talking Entertainment official channel. And today I have a very special guest. Her name is Starr. She is North Carolina's model. She's a multi published model. She loves Marvel Comics. She loves DC Comics. She likes to cosplay. She has an amazing makeup game that she shows through all her social media. She does an amazing, she has unique photos. This is a person you guys should definitely follow, check out, and just sit here and hear this awesome, unique conversation. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope Star enjoy it. So welcome, Star. Woo!
Hello. Hello, people of Earth. I do not come in peace, actually. Um,
Now, everybody who tunes in on Great Talk Entertainment official channel, you are the first person that I have interviewed that's in their cosplay suit. Like you have
really?
raised the bar a lot higher, and they know
Yes, everyone has competition now.
it. Now, can you tell us your origin story of modeling?
Of modeling. I certainly was not planning to necessarily be a model per se, and even now, I would say, as far as career goes, this is only the starting point from where I want to go. As a child, I was a Tim Burton kid, so I would set up my toys, and I would take a photo, and I would move them, and I would make little tiny movies, just from little toys. um and as I got older, kids, they go through phases. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I don't really like the smell of dogs. And then I wanted to be a teacher, but I hate children, you know. Um, and In high school, a really good friend of mine, her father was a photographer, and he's a big friend to the family. I work with him all the time, even now. He's the photographer I work with the most, Brian Dehini. Um, and I was just sort of helping him out. He suggested that if I wanted to go into film, whether to be an actor or a director or anything, it would help to build a portfolio. So he helped me build a portfolio, and I figured, well, I might as well just start in modeling and work my way through, So that is what I'm doing now. I have been modeling since 2020. I am currently 22 years old, and only this year I feel like I have gone professional. I'm now starting to make money getting paid gigs. I have a full resume made, a full portfolio. I'm an official member of Modeling Mayhem, which is kind of an organization out there meant to hook models up and photographers up to collaborate together. So can only go from there. You just have to keep working at it.
And as you were mentioning that, you mentioned about a photographer. My next question is when it comes to like ideas of like where to shoot or scenes or maybe props, like I saw some really unique ones on your Instagram. There was one where like you had your like really long hair and it covered your face, and you had like a one of those like medieval time picture frames. Do do sometimes like if you find the right photographer, do they sometimes shoot you ideas, or there's a lot of these just something you get very inspired by from
uh,
magazines or shows?
it is a collaboration. It's never gonna be, at least from my personal experience, it's never going to be the model is just going to do whatever the photographer says, or the model is going to. One of my specialities is am extremely good at improv. I can take anything and make it look good. Um, and I just achieved that level of comfort and fluidity with my body. For that particular photo, I know exactly what you're talking about. That one was, I believe, one of my last shoots I did with Brian, my good friend. Um, he will always be my favorite photographer, hands down. I am biased. He's a good friend. It would be wrong of me to say anything else. But usually when coming up with ideas, at least between me and Brian, is he'll shoot me a message and be like, "Hey, I'm bored. It's been a long time since I've done a photo shoot. Are you in town? And we set up a board on Pinterest. Whatever sort of idea, we'll sort of add different photos from maybe other photographers, maybe other models, maybe even some paintings or drawings. We get inspiration from the colors to work off of, the scenery, to see if we can find something close to that. A lot of the times, with Brian, we just shoot in a studio. That is his strong point. Um, and as far as props go, same thing. We get inspired from maybe looking at other people's work and we just make it our own. That picture frame we got that day of the shoot. We were just walking around Michael's, which is like an art craft store. I don't know if you have that there. We have it here in NC.
We do, we
Um,
do. We used to.
yeah. Okay, okay. But we just found some picture frames and we decided to like staple some like see-through fabric to it. And just play around with it. Of course, I'm so small that I could just sort of hold it up and like sit in it, basically. um, so yeah, it's a collaboration, really. Uh I would not work with someone who is, because that would take the fun away from it. What's the fun if not hearing out someone else's idea and sort of finding a middle ground?
And speaking of, like, you mentioned, like, when you find like inspiration between you and Brian, the photographer, is there any like certain models or famous models or whatever that you kind of look up to, or maybe just inspired by, where you feel
um
like that's how you want to model or do the poses?
Not not necessarily. There aren't a whole lot of models that I follow. A lot of the other models that I am friends with, and this is gonna sound terrible. Don't take me as this type of person, but a lot of the models that I'm friends with aren't as popular as me, like in terms of followers, and that's partly because I cosplay. Okay, if you cosplay, then you're just instantly you're gonna get more followers. um, but uh, I don't know. There's not really there are definitely actresses, but as of currently, there aren't really any models that I'm just obsessed with. I will say, and she's been dead for a long time. You might not have heard of her, Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, I have heard of her.
um, of course, who hasn't? She is the most photographed blonde woman in history, if not one of the most photographed people of all time. Yeah, I really loved her as a child. My mother would have some really beautiful posters of her, and um, I would always Marilyn Monroe. Of course, she's an actress and a model. But I would say that I do get a little bit of inspiration from her. I don't know her personally because, well, she's dead. But not as of right now. Again, there aren't really any living models that I aspire to. There's certainly ones that I really like, but I don't really know too many by name, if I'm being honest. If I see their face, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know that person, but not by their name.
I'm somewhat that like that too when it comes to like podcasts or radios or just a host. Like for me, like here's an example. I look at like Ryan Seacrest, the remember the host of TRL, Carl's Davison. I like,
Right. Yeah.
or even like a Jay Shetty or an Oprah. I try to. They're always very positive, and I always like to have conversations with people, someone like you, and want to make sure it's enjoyable and fun and exciting. And so, I'm all over the wall with different people I hear. And so like I don't have a particular favorite, but in that same way, that's how I am too. Like I'm just off the wall. I like how that person talked or explained something or reviewed this or hosted a conversation like that. So I definitely get that. Now, when what was your first cosplay costume if you can remember?
Well, not counting Halloween growing up, because that's a bit different from cosplay. It's not really serious. I was probably either 14, 15, or 16. I was a teenager. And it was Tiki Toby from Creepy Pasta,
Oh,
which
I
is an
remember
online,
that.
yeah, it's online horror series. I was really I was sort of a creepy kid. I really liked spooky stuff, you know. And I didn't have a whole lot of money because I was a broke kid. So like I kind of just cut up a different hoodies and I sewed them together. It was terrible. I didn't know how to do makeup either, so it was very crusty. But I was really happy with it, and I wore that costume for years, before I eventually just threw out that disgusting hoodie.
Mine, I didn't start cosplay until like, oh, maybe 3 years ago or five. And my first one that I bought was the green Power Rangers.
Oh,
And
nice.
I I don't know. I've been missing out for a long time because I I totally get it. Like I know why everybody loves the cosplay, and it is so fun. But
Yeah.
I noticed that you are a huge fan of Harley Quinn.
Mm.
Can you explain like how do you have like a favorite Harley Quinn comic book? Like for me, the two ones that I like is Harley, which is written by I'm gonna say the author's name wrong, but it's Stejepan, and the person's last name is Sejic. Because when
Mm.
I say it sounds like Steppen, but I know it's not that. But
Right.
it's this is kind of like her origin story in the way of like her as a I want to say therapist. I believe that's what you call it. This is
Yeah.
where she, met Joker, her pudding, but it was very unique. And my second one I like is this one's more of a Batman. It's called Batman the White Knight.
I've
And,
heard of that one. I've not
and
read it. I have heard of that one.
without spoiling it, this is like a version of like how Harley Quinn and Batman like fell in love and had feelings for each other and became boyfriend and girlfriend and etc. And it was very unique because I would never thought of those two. Like when I think of Batman, I think of Catwoman. I think of Poison Ivy with him. Damian Wayne's mother. Uh, what's her name? Natalia.
Talia. Yeah, Talia al Ghul.
But I never thought Harley. And that's something I would love to see in like a live action. Like I think there's so much to that story. I think they just really haven't really scratched the surface with the Harley Quinn. But do you have any? like Harley Quinn comic books that you like?
I don't currently I don't own any Harley Quinn comics. I have read a couple way back when I was a kid, probably. I know quite a bit about Harley Quinn. I know that she was based on an actress named Arlene Sorkin. I can't
Yep.
pronounce her last name, but and that she was actually an original character from the Batman the Animated Series, which I recently finished. Um,
Did you
and
like it?
it was amazing. It was incredible. Like, no, I mean, there is no wonder why so many of our modern day interpretations of Batman derive from that series. I'm a huge fan of the Arkham Knight or the Arkham video games from Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. And I personally believe that where the cartoon ended, I think that that's where the video games pick up from.
Yep.
Because so much from just they have so many Easter eggs from the cartoon that you would not see in any other like interpretation of Batman. So I personally like to think that it is the same universe, you know. Um, but yeah, I like Harley Quinn. I guiltily I prefer her original classic Harley Quinn in the jester outfit a little bit more than the bombshell Harley, which is what you would see in like the Suicide Squad movies with the pink and blue hair, and in like the newer Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max, which is very good. I prefer that design a little bit more. She's just so cutesy and bubbly, and she's you just never know what she's gonna say or do next.
Yeah.
She's off the wall, very, very funny character. Um, and I prefer that Harley a little bit more than some of the more serious, sad stories of Harley. I mean, of course, what happened to her is sad. She was manipulated, abused, I mean, and it's like that even in the cartoon. But there's a charm to her, there really is.
And speaking of different versions of Harley Quinn, how do you think Lady Gaga would do from all the reports that you may have read or photos you may have seen?
Well, I did see the Joker movie. I actually pirated the movie before it was released. Don't tell the cops. But because I couldn't wait, I tried getting tickets to go see it in theater, but it was sold out, because it was such a big movie. So I pirated it and I watched it, and it was very sad. It was beautiful, like cinematography was beautiful, the music was amazing, the acting is, it just watching it, you felt everything that the character went through, and that's great writing and great acting. I am a little bit, I'm not really concerned, I should say, about how Lady Gaga is going to do because for whatever reason, the writer and director thought that she would be a good fit for Harley Quinn. Um, and I've never seen her act. I've never seen any of the movies or TV shows Lady Gaga has been in. I know that she's been in American Horror Story a couple times. I don't really watch that stuff. Um, so I'm interested, I'm not going to go into watching the movie when it is released thinking, oh, she's going to be terrible, because then you're going to go in with the mindset and you're going to criticize the actress for every single little thing, which may even be purposeful, for the character that she's trying to play out. So I'll go into it with an open mind. See how I feel about it, because I may love it, I may hate it. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I'm personally I'm just rooting for Lady Gaga for this role. Like I think she can bring I think to me, she can do certain like story arcs that can get inspired. The director can get inspired from other Harley Quinn comic books that may not be like the bombshell version or the Arkham Knight, but more of the plastic version of like the Jester or something like that. So I totally agree with that. Now, do you have any upcoming new cosplay costumes that you can share with us for the viewers?
Um, yeah. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to afford to do any new cosplays or costuming this year. The year is almost over. It really is.
Oh yeah.
But it's just because I've moved I've moved at least twice this year, and I'm about to move again. Um, so I'm just sort of trying to save my money wisely because ultimately me and my boyfriend are trying to save up to get a house, you know. But
I
what
believe in
I
you
am putting
guys.
yeah, what I am putting my foot down for what the characters that I want to do is I would like next year to focus on Resident Evil cosplays. I
Ooh,
really want to
Jill.
do Jill Valentine. Yeah, I really want to do Ashley Graham. I really want to do Ada Wong. I would like to just solely focus on some of the Resident Evil cosplays because that is a series that I really love. I love those video games, and I've never really cosplayed from it. I think the only character that I've done is Bela Dimitrescu, which is one of the vampires from what it was at Resi 8
Yeah.
Village. Yeah, so I'm very ADHD. So whenever shopping for cosplay, whenever I look in my bank account and I'm like, oh, I have some extra money, I could splurge a little bit. I kind of get distracted and end up buying things that I don't mean to buy. um, but that is what I would love to focus on. That's what I really want to do. Because that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it's about time that I just do it.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. That's all I have for you. Can you just before we have your amazing things?
So I am known as Lady Dead Rabbit on across all platforms. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, TikTok, a YouTube channel. Although on Instagram it is Lady Dead Rabbit underscore art. That is the only difference. Other than that, it's the same for everything. And I have pretty much every platform. So I'm active on some more than others, but I'm on everything basically.
And words are I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are an amazing person, and I will have all your links in the description below of this video. So I'm making sure everybody who watches this checks this out, follows you, and I'm rooting for you. I want you to I want to see the best of you. Thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment Official Channel. Thank you guys, and peace out.